What is up, guys? Hope your guys' racing is going well this week. So we're over at David's house today. Big upgrade for David. So he went ahead and went with the SIMSONN pedals. They're around that $230 to $300 price range, and they are related to the Sprints in that they are kind of customizable as much as the Sprints are. They're kind of a mid-range pedal. I definitely wanted to come over. I wanted to check them out. See if, you know, with that price bracket, around there you have the CSL V2s. You also have a wide range of pedals, the SIMSONN Pros, stuff like that. So I wanted to see how these stack up in comparison to those types of pedals, and then kind of go from there. Now, at home, you guys know I drive on the active pedal. So I just want to get, you know, around a lot of pedals and just see how they compare to everything else out there. I have had Sprints before, and I also have had the VRS Pros. Now, I have noticed, and David had noticed, whenever he got these and started driving on them, he has been doing exceptional at iRacing. Like, it's actually crazy. He's gaining iRating, safety rating, everything like that, and I would assume that he would say that he's having more fun as well. So with that being said, guys, we're going to get into it. We're in the CTSV on Spa just because that's one of the races this week, and let's see what these pedals are all about. All right, so here we are at Spa on the CTSV. First impressions, I haven't driven on these pedals at all yet. I haven't done any reviews. I haven't done anything for these pedals. This is my blind first impressions on this. Oh, that throttle. I love how long the throttle is. That throttle is really long. That's awesome. Oh, whoa. Okay, hold on here. Hold on. Oh, I am not used to how long that brake is. I am not used to how long the brake is at all. All right, so the throttle feels really good compared to, like, even to my SemiCube throttle. I haven't put out a review for the SemiCube pedals yet, but the thing about the SemiCube throttle that I really don't like is the fact that, oh, you cannot take that flat. The fact that the throttle is very short, in my opinion. At least it's even short compared to my VRS. And the other thing that I had to add to the SemiCube pedal was a dampener. These are very smooth. The gas pedal on this is very smooth. Wow. I am very impressed by this gas pedal. Okay, so moving on to the brake. The brake definitely has more travel than I'm used to, but the modulation behind it is actually very nice. I am very impressed. Especially at this price point, I'm actually very impressed. Now, there are kits that you can put on this to make the elastometers and everything a little bit stiffer. I believe the kit that David has on it is, let me see, like semi-modded. I'm not used to the different pedals, but this is awesome. I feel like the brake is definitely very, like, the ease to modulate it and the ease to trail brake is very crazy. I am not used to how much the pedal throw can go on the, there's an off track. I'm not used to how much the gas pedal can throw. And I'm not locking up either, but I am spinning out. Not locking up, but I am spinning out. R9 feels great. Now, I'm braking around that 50% threshold here. And the ease to trail brake it's very good. Cannot take this flat out. Still gonna get it off track. Wow. Yeah, for the price, these are spot on for the price. Spot on. Look at how easy I am to bring the brake. Just a touch of brake. Like on the sprints, the way I had them set up, it was kind of hard for me to do that. To get that 10%, at least for me it was. But with this, wow. Oh, we're going wide. Driving on a different setup than you're used to is always always gets some taking used to. I'm gonna bring that down there. I like them. They're good. They're good pedals. The only thing that I would say is I personally like my brake a little bit stiffer, but they have a lot of travel on them before you get to that like hard stop threshold. Oh, we can all talk about my driving later in the comment section. Yeah, wow, guys. First impression of these, they're good. I do want to go ahead and get a look inside the software, inside the box, just to show you what it comes with, and then we'll get David's impressions on everything because he's been using them the most, right? So we'll go ahead and get that done. All right, guys, so welcome to the SIMSONN pedals software here. So the only thing that I find that is lacking about the software, like this is a typical software that you would find on any pedal set, right? So the HEs have one, the VRS had a similar thing. Now, you guys have to keep your thoughts and your expectations in check, right? Because these pedals are $230, $300, right? So at the end of the day, like they give you software to where you can tune your pedals. Automatically, that's already a plus, right? When buying a product. However, they do have different curves that you can add to it. So right now, David's on a linear curve. Now, what I would like to see and what I think that they should do is they should show on this line here how the brake is actually acting, because then we can get a better relative and idea of how we're actually braking, right? I think that's what this bar is for right here. So you see the raw and the output of what it's doing. Maybe, I'm not too sure. But if this showed like a physical dot moving back and forth to see how the curve actually acts as you're pushing the brake or the gas pedal, that would be awesome. Now, I don't understand what these other curve, like I don't get this one. This one is a little strange to me. Or this one. This one might be just a static zero curve, so then you can add your own curve to it. But David runs a linear curve, so we're going to keep it at that. Now, you can go ahead and add a dead zone to the brake, just like any other software. David doesn't have one added just yet, but I think we're going to play with it and see if we can add one on the brake pedal, because with the braking output of like GT cars, we want to get to that almost 100% threshold. So definitely want to add a dead zone there just so we can get to that 100%. It does have a save calibration and load calibration. So if we sit here and we save the calibration, and then we can reload the calibration there. However, I'm not seeing a save as, so not that I see that you can set custom profiles onto this. So you can't save a profile and then re-add the profile onto it, which kind of sucks, but again, let's keep our expectations in check, right? For what it is, the gas and the brake are actually really, really nice. The clutch, different story. The clutch is just kind of a pedal that doesn't really actuate. It doesn't really have any actuation, like a two-stage actuation, but Other than that, the pedals, just from my time driving, are absolutely fantastic for the price. I think bang for the buck, these are awesome. And you know what's funny? It makes me actually want to try out the Jack Pros now, just to see how those are. But let's go into kind of the boxing situation, and then I kind of want to get David's impression on it, just how he has set up the pedal and just how his reaction to his V2s versus this is. So we'll go ahead and get into that. Okay, so in the box you are going to get 3 different springs. You're going to get the stiffest red spring right here. Camera needs to, there we go. The stiffest red spring right here. You get a softer blue spring, and then you also get a orange spring on there, which is the softest. There is a green spring that David has on the pedals right now. Now these pedals are 200 kilogram load cell. So it is on the ad. It says 200 kilogram of actual force on there, and David did order this off of Amazon as well. So that's awesome because you can secure the shipment through Amazon. So that's awesome. Now it does come with these red and white elastometers, but when David did have the red ones on, they were being crushed to death. So he did put the black ones on, and it's a little bit better now. Also in the box, you are going to get your connectors. And then you're also going to get some hardware here as well, so you can mount them on. Now, what David realized when he did mount these pedals, and you guys need to be aware of this, is that they don't come with a pedal plate. They're singular pedals. So when you mount them onto whatever rig you have, just take that into mind that what David did for his solution was to use a Huskenveld pedal plate, so that he could attach the pedals to that. And even then, he still had to drill, and you guys know how it is, the DIY stuff that you guys have to go through sometimes. But he made it work. So another solution is maybe, I know V&M makes a pedal plate. Several companies make pedal plates that you guys could order from them, and then you could kind of go from there and order those pedal plates and attach the pedals. But I think that's also a great thing that these pedals come singularly, because you usually see something like that in more of the higher end things. More higher end pedals, your HEs, your VRS, those come singularly, whereas the cheaper ones usually come as a set, stuck together. What I do want to go ahead and do is I do want to go ahead and get David in here so that he can talk a little bit about why he upgraded from the CSL V2 to these pedals, and then kind of pick his brain on what his upgrade path is from there. All right, guys, so I have David here, the owner of the brand new SIMSONN pedals. David, I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit and talk about, like, how's your experience with them? Has your driving gotten better? Has it gotten worse? What are the changes from the CSL V2s over to something like this? Like, what is your opinion on the pedals as the person who has been driving on them for the longest?
So first thing, I definitely got better with them. I just wanted... At the end of the day, this is just content we're trying to create, and I figure the worst I can do is like take a little L and get rid of them. Right. But basically, the biggest motivation for me was it just felt like the Fanatec's I had, it was just like a light switch, meaning the throttle was really short and the brake was really short. Now, what are you willing to trade off for the cost of something that you can do that much to? Obviously, the software isn't great, but to their credit, like it does work. It's just not the smoothest. It looks really, really bad when you. There's
like little things here and there that aren't like fantastic about it, but you have to reel in your expectations because of that cost, right?
Yeah, you're gonna eat that cost somewhere. But ultimately, I've gotten significantly better with these, especially like I'm being able to modulate. Right.
And I think that's what I said on my first impression is like, wow, you can.
And what's crazy about the springs that come in there. They're actually a mod that came with it just came with it.
Right.
So you do that. Like, I haven't done any customization really. Everything that I've done is with it factory. It came in the box like that. But, it's cool to think like I can add more preload. I can make the travel shorter on the brake. I can make the throttle heavier. I can take it apart. I can throw a mod in there to make it heavier.
Right.
You can't get that mix of customization without spending $600-700
Right.
otherwise.
Right. I would agree. So at the end of the day, do you think that these are better than the V2s just because of that modulation? So like I know that these are in kind of the same price, bracket to an extent. I think David ended up paying $247.
Yeah. So basically, you're gonna get significant difference, like being able to roll the throttle, like that matters. Like obviously I've gotten in iRacing, being able to roll the throttle in when you have a car that doesn't have a ton of aero, that doesn't have a ton of traction.
Right.
Like I'm driving a Cadillac a lot.
I was gonna say that it seems like he's driving cars without ABS and traction
a lot
now,
and I just can't confidently say I would have been able to do that on my old pedals. Not a skill issue, it's just limitations. Like
Right.
Is the software 10 times better on the Fanatec stuff? Yeah. It also played a part too. I didn't know how much longer they were gonna stay above water. It was like just being It was like I gotta get rid of these. When Josh was talking to somebody about pedals, and I guess they called the guy a criminal or something like that. You were telling me, some guy ordered something,
bought on like a Black Friday.
So I was like,
sale.
I was like, I'm done, man. I gotta get rid of these. It'll be interesting to see how far I go with these once I get a stable chassis.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even my impressions of them. You guys saw when I first sat down. Yeah, when I first sat down and I pressed the throttle, I was very, very impressed with how much modulation you had with the throttle. Not only that, but I think if you had them on a sturdier chassis, I'd even be impressed with how much brake travel that you have, to the point where it's not too much, but it's not like it doesn't travel too far, but it doesn't stop like at a wall. You know what I mean?
What I like about it too is there's screws, there's locking nuts and stuff like that. So if you want it to be really, really, really short, you can do that. I like it long and I like it kind of soft,
right,
because that's helping me trail brake.
Right, for sure.
And
I mean, you can get these down to, and David hasn't messed with the software.
No.
Which I yelled at him on. He needs to mess with the software. However, I can get that trail brake down to 10% easily every single time. And that's just with stock software. No dead zone, no anything, stock software. Right out the box, you put them on, they feel really, really good.
I think the other part of that too is...
which is surprising, because David's setting on the CSL V2s was really stiff. Like, it's surprising to me that you like the way that the brake is.
Well, I didn't run the stiffest... I ran stiff elastomers. I didn't run the stiffest spring.
Okay, gotcha.
Because it was like pushing back.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I could slowly come off.
Okay.
But because of the adjustment you have with these, I'm able to slowly come off. And then the other part of that too, you got to remember, pedal sets are set up for individual people. Like, the last time I went to his house, I did terrible. Because it was just, it was just a setup thing. But I set up my brake pedal to drive non-assisted cars.
Right.
Like, I won't shut up about GTE, and I won't shut up about it. I just won't. So when I set my pedal up, it's hard for me to get to 100. Could I change the pedal on the angle to get to 100?
Yeah, you could.
But I like it set up so I can drive a number of cars, most importantly non-ABS. Rather it's GT1, LMDH, LMP2.
For sure.
So that's kind of where my setup is at right now.
Yeah, the first impressions for me, guys, like, this isn't like a whole review video or anything like that. This is just my thoughts on driving the with the pedals for the first time at David's house. Yeah, my first impressions is I'm so impressed. The price to performance, and that's what we're all aiming for in some cases, right? Is the price to performance, right? Is it worth that cost? Is it worth going with the name brand stuff over this stuff just because of the name? You know what I mean? You're going to spend $300-400 on that name when you could pick these up, and these are really good pedals, guys. Like, again, initially when I sat down and started messing with them, they are fantastic pedals. Now, it's always weird driving on someone else's rig. It's always weird taking that in. But at the same time, I have total confidence that if these were set up on like one of my rigs, I'd have no problem running them. Even with the way that the VRS and everything is set up. Recently, though, I have been realizing that I think the brakes that I like have been a little too stiff, so I've been kind of dialing back on how many kilos that I'm having on that brake, and then trying to do more smooth inputs versus like it's just I've just noticed that I like a stiffer brake. That's it. But at the same time as I like a stiffer brake, it's degrading on my driving. So
one thing I will add. Back on the software, one last thing. When you're trying to figure out your setup, that's where the more expensive, higher end stuff comes into play. Because one of the things that I did with my old setup was I compensated for the flex by lowering it from 100% to like 80%. You can't do that. And even if you could, you couldn't save. Just the way you have to save it, it's like there is no save as. There is no cloud where it's like, let me just download ABS or non-ABS.
Right.
So there is trade-offs, but
at the end of the day, man, like
it's a sub $300 pedal that
I didn't even think you could buy sub $300 pedals. That would have a 200 kilogram load cell.
I didn't think I would significantly improve the way I did with
Yeah,
we always say pedals. You can go back 4 years ago. Very first time I came to his house, pedals are the most
important thing. Yep.
All this, the Gomez's, the Leox's, the pedals are the most important thing, and it's just crazy to think about what you can ultimately do with that.
Especially coming from me, because I've always stuck with the name brand stuff. So, like seeing like SimJack or Simson and stuff like that, and how good that is, makes me want to kind of go and find SimJack pedals and see how those are in comparison to these.
I think I would imagine the SimJack software is better.
Who knows? Who knows, man? But anyways, that's going to wrap it up, man. David, thank you for telling us about the pedals. Make sure you support the channel by dropping a like and a subscribe. We got some great content coming. We got Daytona next weekend. We got Nürburgring coming up after that. So it should be a good couple weeks of sim racing. I hope your races are going well this week. I'm out till the next video. Peace.